Welcome to episode 14. Now we're going to play through the second third of the game. And before we continue with the game, I have brought up this photo of the middle game. Now remember, these lines were here for the begin game. Now these tiles are used up and we're into this section here, which is the second 1/3 of the tiles and the middle game. So now things are going to change up quite a bit as we start continuing through the middle game. And as previously, I will go over middle game strategies with you. So let's go ahead and get back to I Love Maj. We are now back at I Love Maj, and we're getting ready to start the second 1/3 of the game. Before we continue the game, I want to point out the most important things to keep in mind during the second 1/3 of the game, also considered the middle game. During this phase, you can still pick and discard at a fast pace. The difference during the middle game is that once players have 2 or more exposures up, you need to start paying more attention and know what they are playing. However, during this phase, you would still get out fresh tiles and not hold back anything you think your opponents are playing. Why? Because you still want to achieve Mahjong, and if you hold others' tiles, you can't do that. So get those tiles out early, regardless of whether they call it for exposure or even if they were set up enough to call it for Mahjong. The goal is that you are discarding tiles they need, but are hoping they are not ready to call. By the end of the middle game, you will most likely be out of any discards you don't need for your hand, and at the same time, start zeroing in on one hand. This is also a phase during which you have to consider whether calling a tile for your own hand makes sense. To decide, ask yourself if you are ready to commit, or if you have to put up your only joker or jokers to make the call, leaving your other groupings very weak, it might not make sense. And if you put up jokers early when they have not been discarded, you leave those open for joker exchange. Sure, you have an opportunity to exchange those jokers as well, but it's a 1 in 4 chance. These things might be hard to grasp right now, but as you play and see these things in action, they will make a whole lot more sense. Let's do a refresher on where we left off at the end of the begin game. Wes has a Kong of 8 dots with 2 jokers, both of which are available for joker exchange. I know this because neither of those 8 dots have been discarded. He also has a Pung of 4 bams. This means he is playing either line 1B or line 2 on the card under category 2, 4, 6, 8. Remember, you can pause the video anytime to locate these hands. Now go ahead and try and figure out what Wes needs if he's playing line 1B under 2, 4, 6, 8. Since he has 4 bams exposed, and that is a Pung, and if he were playing line 1B, he would need the 2 bams for the other Pung, and then he has 8 dots exposed for the Kong, so that would mean he would need 6 dots for the other Kong. If he's playing line number 2 and he has the 4 bams showing, then he would need a pair of 2 bams. And he has the 8 dots showing, but he doesn't have the 3rd suit showing, which would be cracks. So he would need a pair of 4 cracks and a Pung of 6 cracks. So now we pretty much know what Wes is missing if he's playing either line 1B or line 2. I have a conga flowers and a conga 3 dots exposed, and my 3 dot has already been discarded, so that joker is dead and can no longer be exchanged. I am going for the multiplication hand under 13579, line 5A. My hope is to call the 5 bam, which will put me on call or set to Mahjong. Either term is acceptable. I will now begin by ignoring the call button shown on the screen and proceed to play.
Nine bam. East. Four dot. Two dot. Two crack. Five dot. Red. Four crack. Joker swap.
Lucky Joe
Six
got
crack.
a joker, and now there is one 8 dot
One
left
dot.
for exchange.
One crack. Green. Six crack.
Pretty much everything I'm picking is already on
8
the
bam.
table. However, if I did pick a tile that I think Wes needed, I would definitely discard it because I do
Red.
want to win, and I
Six
still
crack.
have a good chance of winning.
Two dot. Green. One dot. Two crack. One crack. Two dot. Two crack. Eight bam. Eight bam. Nine dot.
Now, having played as long as I have, and I don't want to tell you how long I have, so you may be able to figure out my age, I knew when the North came in that I had not heard that go out, and I did not see it on the table. So it kind of alerted me to look around a little more carefully, and nope, there are no Norths out, which means someone could potentially call it, but that's okay. That's what I want to happen.
North. North. Five dot. Six bam.
I remembered the 7 dot having gone out, but much earlier on in the game. And since the 5 dot recently went out, I decided it was a better
7 dot.
choice to get the
8
7
crack.
dot out before the 5 dot.
South. Call.
Very
7
interesting. The South gets discarded, and Agatha calls the South. But she wasn't able to call 2 Norths in a row. So this is an indication that she either has a ton of other jokers already in her hand and didn't need to call the North, or by those 2 Norths going out, it made her hand a lot harder because she wasn't able or set to call those Norths. We're going to stop here because we're now at 33 tiles left, and we will be heading into the end game and the last third in the next episode. So I'll see you real soon.